Hi, and welcome to another tutorial. So today I thought we would go a bit far ahead and try to mesh the common research model. It's an aircraft made for research purposes, and it's available on public domain. It's if you go to the Drag Prediction Workshop 5 and download the wing body no-tail configuration, and the reference information is given here. It has a reference code of 275.8 inches, and we are going to do a structured blocked mesh for this one. All I have done is just downloaded the IGS file, imported it, and then added a far field with a symmetry field just at the aircraft, just at the half surface of the aircraft from fuselage. So if the video is too long, I'm going to split it into parts. If not, it will be one video. So let's call this as part 1, and let's generate the fluid zone code. Let's just save it first. Fluid zone 3D create, and the first thing we do is associate vertices to points. It's selected surface. Okay, points, once you associate them, they turn into red color, which means they're associated now. Okay, from that, 2 more remaining. Okay, after that we need to do association of edges to curves. Even though this is the first step, you have to be a bit cautious about it, because messing up this step will create a lot of difficulties when you are at a later stage, and if you have some association errors. Okay, just I have done it, but just to make sure that I'm just going to turn off the geometry. Then I see all green edges, so quite happy with that. Okay, and let's move it in the Z direction. Let's do our first splits. Just one split before the aircraft. Zoom in and move it to the right place. One split below. One split above. And one split here. Okay, and then view it in the X direction. Oh well, oh, it's we forgot it's a half aircraft. Split here. To be honest, split here and then leave it for now. We're going to do the association of fuselage first. So just go to blocking edges, turn off the internal edges, associate these 4 edges to all the curves that are of the symmetry plane. Okay. Click on project vertices. Right. Now it's gone a bit thin, and we are going to have to do linear splits to make sure that it catches the geometry shape. Okay, just I'll double check if everything is okay. Just some more splits and spaces where there's more curvature. Okay, and turn on the internal edges. Okay. We are going to have to use block index control at a later point when there's too many edges and blocks that we cannot view just simply. So at the moment we'll keep it off. So I've got to make this block look like a fuselage, so I'm going to first fix Z and then fix X and Z as well, and move these two a bit up. Okay. Okay, and I'm going to say to this program to link this edge to this edge and this edge, and this edge to this edge. Okay, it's fine except that these two needs to be a bit below and also closer to the surface. So now we are going to hold X and Y fixed and then move it to Z direction. Now when you do that, you realize it moves up again. So again, fix Z now and then move to Y direction. Okay, it's fine now. For the moment we will accept it, and what we are going to do now is just do another split for the actually let me just move these two a bit down because I'm not very happy with that. Fix Y, it's Y. Okay, now we are going to do another split that will capture the wing. Okay, so and then what we are going to do is hide the blocks that represent the fuselage now. So index control, and we just move this one K there, and then go back to X direction. And split it at the end of the wing. Okay. Go to Z direction. Split it at the leading edge of the wing and the trailing edge of the wing. Good. Now we don't want to see all these structures. So what we're going to do is just go to select corners and select this and this. So just the block that will represent the wing. There's something going on with my rotation button, but let's try to deal with that. I'm going to associate these vertices to points, and I will do so that vertex to this point, this one to the one below. Okay, and then I'm going to associate these edges to these curves. Okay, now when you move these vertices to represent the shape of the edge, make sure that the block is not inverted. See, at the moment it is inverted, so that means I did the opposite of what I had to do. So this one will be up, this one will be below. So it's something you have to check quite often, otherwise later on everything will be just flipped, and that's not something you want. Okay, now I'm going to do the same thing for the root. Just associate this vertex to this point and this vertex to this point. Okay, and select these three and select the root airfoil. Again, I have to make sure that I don't invert it, and to check that, I'm going to put the K direction on now. Just reset, and if I had inverted it, then it means I'll have to rearrange it, which I think I did. So just this one here, this one here. Yes, and this is fine. So this one's going all the way to, okay, so now it's okay. But remember, initially the blocks were somewhere here, and then we only moved the block that's representing the wing. So we're gonna have to do some manual movement for the other vertices that is here. So this one, just click on Fix Z so that they don't move in Z direction. Okay. Right. Now I'm going to go to this extend split selected edge visible blocks, and then I'm going to select this edge. It's not that edge. Makes huge sound if I select something wrong. It's going to be one of the edges. This one? Oh yeah. Okay. Now I have done that, I can start to make my parts called solids. Of course, I can even start to make the blocking look a bit more professional by moving the nodes and stuff, but that we can do after we make the solids part. Okay, so I'm going to first select these. Now first I'm going to make the wing block, so just go to split block and say extend all edges. Okay. This block will be the block that will be representing my entire wing. So I'm going to go to parts, create part, create solid part, and then select these two. I said it's part 15, but I'm just going to wing solids. Okay, and then I'm going to reset again and then select the blocks here. and these, and then I'm going to turn off the wing solids, yeah, and create part called fuselage solids, and then select everything I see. Okay, so now I have my, if I go to my blocking and as wing solids reset, if I select just internal edges now, I'll see that it's the blocks that's representing the fuselage, the edges that's representing the symmetry, and then the edges that's representing the wing. So now we can start to improve our solid meshing before we put O-grid and do the rest of it, improve the mesh. So let's just improve the solid mesh in this part, because it's already 16 minutes, and then in the next part we'll put O-grids and face O-grids as well here, face O-grids here, and then we will improve the overall mesh quality. Okay, so as you know, this geometry here is round. Walls, seam, yeah, so this geometry here is round. What we can do is we can, and there's inlet, outlet. Okay, so we are going to rotate it. Now this is a critical part, because the way you modify this surface edges will affect your O-grids, the internal edges. So I'm going to fix my X and then move the YZ direction, these edges, just until, let me see if they're on the, if they're not on the, yeah, they are a bit far, they're a bit front, so first I need to move them in X direction. So first I'll move them somewhere here, all of them, and then I'm going to like I said, there's something wrong with my rotations today, so forgive me for that. Okay, now I'm going to move them in fix X and first in Z direction, just until it hits the surface. Okay. And then move in Z and Y direction together. So make sure they're just like at the edge of the surface, not inside or not out too much outside. Okay, so we'll put it here. Fine. And then just I just want to make this last edge a bit down. Okay, and then turn off the surfaces. See how it is. It's fine, but we can actually move this last one a bit down and towards, so a bit something like this, and this one like this, like this. Okay. Yeah, that's fine. What we can do is we can, where there's a curve, we can split there. So one split here will help us for the rest of the splits. So what we can do is we associate this point to the curve. Associate the vertex to the point, and remove just view only the part we're interested in. Associate edge to curve. Associate this, and this edge to this. Basically all the curves here. Yes. Okay, that's fine. Yeah. And now we can do linear splits. Edit edge linear splits to get the roundness of the fuselage. Sometimes I'm clicking the wrong okay, so it's this edge here, here, and here. Okay, and the wrong one. Correct. To make sure it's just like the shape of the curve, so that we can use linkage for the rest of the edges. Okay, so we do this. Some more here, some more here, and some more here. Okay, now we can move this vertex a bit closer, because we want to put less cells in trailing edge, and however amount of cells you put in trailing edge will come to this one, and if it is too less, it will not capture the roundness of the leading edge. But if we decrease that space, then we have a better chance of doing that. Okay, so now all I'm going to do is just move these vertices in X direction to make sure that they're aligned in the same X position. So yes, and I'm also going to link this edge by a factor of 0.8, so 80% to this edge. Okay, and link this edge by 80% to this edge. Now there's still some problems here. Fix Y and Z. Move it here. Right here. Okay. And we need to make sure that this is in the same places. And Y and Z point, and the one bottom. The one on the bottom, we can't do much about it because the bottom surface there's a bump, so it's not exactly round. But we can use the linkage of this to this, and this to this, this to this, and this to this. Okay, now that will help us a lot. Now let's go to the end and repeat what we did. So remember that there is a fault here. First of all, I need to make sure that the vertices are well aligned, which are parallel to each other, and this one also it this way, Just double check. This one obviously needs to be a lot more lower. So somewhere here, this one a bit higher. Okay, now we can use linkage to capture the shape again. So linkage, select. So this linkage feature is one of the nice features in ICM, which if you use Bell you will find it to be quite advantageous. Now that means I will have to move this one down. Okay, so I've got the basic shape of the fuselage up to here. Now towards the end, what we can do is, first I will need to move them by X and Y direction up to here. Just make sure that it's 45 degrees. Just here. You can't get this right in one go, so it will have to be a trial and error kind of thing. Okay, but we still have problems, as in it moved to the negative Z direction, so I'm gonna have to move them in this way and then towards up. Let's see how it looks now. The thing is, the surface is very small here, so let's have the view at the surface. So we can move them in X direction a bit forward, so not too much, maybe just slightly, and then again in Z direction until they hit the surface. Okay, now we can move them back a little bit, just a little bit. Now remember that a lot of edges here, most of the edges here are now on the surface, except the ones coming in this direction. So I will need to make sure that the edges are just on the surface, because otherwise if I don't do that and put the O grids, what's going to happen is that O grid will be inside the geometry, and then it will be inverted and a lot of mesh problems. So I'm just going to use linkage again to just bring all the surface edges to the surface. So I can do that by, I hope I can do that by linking. So source edge to this one, and to this one, and then just view again. And now they are on the surface, so it's fine. And then I'll go to the back and link this one to this, this to this by maybe a less amount, maybe 0.8. I can select it, 0.8, and we go. Oh, that's the wrong edge. It's the edge on the symmetry. this to this by 0.8 and this to this by 0.8, and let's just have a look to see what it looks like now. Okay, so now we got all the edges on the surface. We have to take care of the wing now. Let's just quickly do something for the wing. So, oh, what am I doing? Okay, edges. Now remember, we'll need to split at this quarter chord. This wing is a bit different in terms of that it's got quite a reasonable sweep and also a twist. So we'll have to be extra careful. Okay, so I move this and this, and then just use edit edge, linear splits to determine. Oh, I'm all over the place today. Okay. Okay, and some here as well. And okay, and move the vertex. Now, even though you did the quarter chord, the root, and the tip, remember that the trailing edge is the one which can help us to get the twist right. So what we do is we associate this top edge to this one, and then we do linear splits. And to be honest, it will be quite a lot of them if you want to get a high quality, because if I zoom in, you will see that it doesn't exactly follow them. So it has to be more twists, more splits than you would think. So, but for the moment, I'm just going to do a reasonable number of splits, and then associate this edge to this curve, and then go to edit edge, linear splits again. Oh. Okay. And then this edge. Oh, what's happened here? Okay. Yeah. So this edge to this curve. You can even associate the vertices to fix it. I'll leave it for now and just do this one too. Just see, I want to see where the curve ends, because we're going to have to do something about this tip. So for now we will just leave it like this and associate this one to this curve. Okay. And then do some splits again. So make sure you have a good so I associated the wrong edge. Associate again this edge to this curve, this edge to this curve. Right. Like I said, it'd be good if you can do a lot of splits, but for the purpose of this video, it is not mandatory that I put too much splits here. I'm going to have to just move vertex. Okay. Just stop there for now, and now we can. Well, I still want to move this one a bit closer to the wing, so this one here and this other one right here. Okay. Save. So I recommend you to save it as you go ahead. Before putting all grids, just save solids as a separate project, and then keep saving while you progress, so that if you do something wrong at some point, you don't have to start over again from the start. Okay, now we're going to have to use again linkage to link this edge to this edge and the top edge to this edge. Top edge, maybe we can use a bit less, maybe 0.3, so that control gives us powers. The factor gives us good powers to control how much the edge is related to the other edge or linked to the other edge. Okay, so now we have something that's we can start meshing with for solids. Let's just assume that this is what we can achieve in 38 minutes. And since I don't want it to be any longer, I'm just going to do some machine parameters and just pre-mesh before I finish the video. Okay, 20 there. I'm going to put basically everywhere I see, I'm going to put like 20 or something. Remember, these are not the numbers that you're going to have to use to a bit of research. It has to be a bit more refined in regions of importance. 22 and the trailing edge, which is also the leading edge, will be, I'm going to put like 6 elements there. Yeah, and now. Here also 22, 22, 22, 22, and just make the spacings correct. Spacing 2 is 1, 2, 3. The spacing 2, yes, spacing 2 is 1, 2, 3. Here also spacing 2 is 1, 2, 3. I'm just using some random guesses. You can use link mesh edges when you finally have a refined mesh there. But this is just to show you what the initial stage looks like. So spacing 1 will be 1, 2, 3 this time. Here spacing 2 will be 0 and spacing 1 will be 1, 2, 3. Yes. Okay, let's just pre-mesh to see what happens. There might be failure at some yes, it's generally fine, but I've forgotten to put some stuff like some divisions here. Where is it? Here, is it? Hold on a second. No, it's here. Yeah, 12. Apply and go pre-mesh. Okay, like I said, there will be some places where there will be errors, of course, but we'll correct that in the next video. For this video, let's just get the basic mesh, solid mesh shape. So here we'll put again 12. Apply pre-mesh. Okay, some problems here. It's an edge flipped, so if I to be honest, I'm going to just unlink this edge again. I think it's linked too much, so unlink this edge and unlink this edge, and then link them again with less linking, so 0.3. Seems like they're a bit lower than they should be, so so to be honest, I'll leave it as it is and just do pre-mesh again without linking, and then put all the parts. Okay, so this is what our mesh looks like. It's pretty basic, but this will get us started going towards a good mesh. And once we delete the solid block and put all grid, we will solve the problems. I can actually just show you if I delete the solid blocks, which is wing and fuselage, and then just change something. Let's change this one to 21 and then premesh again. Everything will be solved, all the problems will be solved. Just the program is confusing that this edges we have here is associated to the surface part, which it is not. So if I just go and select selected surface, and I select the surface of the aircraft, and then the faces, these three, yeah, yes. And also there's one edge, yeah, and click apply and premesh again. Okay, first of all I'll have to undo the deleting of my blocks, which undo set mesh complete blocks. Again undo. Again undo. Okay, well, we'll solve these problems in the next part. So this region and other regions that we are interested in, and put an O grid around the wing.